Alone, I have no one. I have no composer friend with autism or a lack of hair, and so here I sit on this couch, per the usual, alone. If only the woodpecker sighs.
Beat it up.
Oh, I hated that. Oh, I hated that. I hated it. I hated it. Well,
See,
oh God, go on.
you don't have to deal with the laughter when I'm not here.
No, blessedly, the mic, you turn away from it and it helps me.
It hurts, but now it's in your ear.
Now it's in my ear.
Now it's in your ear, baby.
I hate it. It's fine. Welcome to the Song of Spice and Rhani, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire podcast where the girls, the gays, the theys, and the well-behaved straights. I am your present here host, Rhani.
And I am your other present here, live, in person, captured in 4K.
Yes.
4K. 4D. 4D. I need you to wrestle your computer or your phone.
Still haven't said your name.
Spicer.
Thank you.
Shut up.
And every single week, we will go over 3 chapters of the A Song of Ice and Fire book series, where we will go over what happened, the theories, the and the deaths. What about death, Spicer? Death? Did anything die? Anything?
You know what died, actually? I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what died this week.
Oh.
The uneducated bitch who existed before,
Mm-hmm.
and like a fucking phoenix, born again, Miss Rhani Alam.
Oh.
Like the guy who called out the name when you walked across the stage said, Miss Alam, sashayed, and an educated, sophisticated, beautiful woman.
Oh, okay.
Woman born.
This is a new development.
New development. You don't even know about this development.
Oh no.
You don't even know. Get ready. Get ready. But she's educated now.
I am.
She's educated.
I have a degree, and yes, when they read my name so I could walk across the stage, despite the fact that I phonetically wrote how to pronounce my name on the card, I wrote it per their request. They still did not read the phonetical spelling, and they just said whatever, the spirit moved them to say.
Rhani Alam.
Alam. It's alum for anyone who doesn't know. It's just like Alan, but with an M. Alum.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Anyways, but that's what died. So yay!
That's what died.
Yay for Miss Rhani.
Yay! We're excited. And this week, so we're recording together, and we read our chapters anyway, despite all of these things. So, what chapters did we read this week? We read Ned 12, Daenerys 5, and the Ned 13, a double Ned feature.
I need the audience to know that my new vocal stem is Rhani saying it a la Jinx Monsoon. We've got a Ned double feature. I will be doing laundry. I will be cleaning dishes. I will be at work, and my assistant will be next to me, and I'll go, "We've got a Ned double feature." No context. Zero context.
Oh my god. But yeah, let's go. Let's do the thing. Okay. So we're gonna begin with Ned 12. Okay. Ned is an honorable fellow. Ned has a plan. Robert is still hunting because he's on the hunting trip that never goddamn ends. And Ned's like, okay, you know what? I figured it out. Sansa helped me figure it out. Joffrey and the other little blonde incest babies are, in fact, little blonde incest babies. They are not Robert Baratheon's offspring.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go confront the Grand High Witch herself. Cersei Lannister. I'm gonna give her the business. It's gonna be great. And so he goes down to the Godswood and he sends her a message, and she comes down too, and it's all very like quiet and serious because we're doing the thing. It's happening, the confrontation. And he's like, I know all the shit. Your brother or your lover? And she's like, both, bitch. I fuck him, and yeah, I was born with him too. What you gotta say about it? And he's like, well, lots of things. So I think you should leave because Robert's gonna kill you and the kids when he finds out. So get out. And she's like, hey, but what if we have like what if we have a little something? What if I touch your leg a little bit? What if I give you a little leg, if you know what I mean? And Ned's like, I'm good. Thank you. Why don't you run? And then she says, fuck you, you're gonna die. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die, and I know what's happening to you. And then she storms out. End of chapter.
Well, and I think we should recreate for them
Oh god.
the infamous slap. The slap. So I'm Cersei. I'm Cersei, and then you're Rob. And so
I'm not Rob, because
Yeah.
it's Ned in the
It's
scene.
Ned. Fuck it. I don't. Ned. So it's Ned.
I'm not gonna help you when your whole goal here is to hit me.
No, we're gonna do stage slap. Stage slap.
Oh, okay.
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 So I'm Cersei.
Uh-huh.
I'm Cersei, and you're Ned. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, hey baby,
Uh,
you wanna help my incest babies out?
and I say, ew, no. Ah.
And then you say, and then you copy me from earlier. You say the line.
Oh, I'll wear it as a badge of honor. I did not know where you were going with
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
I thought
okay.
you just wanted to hit me.
No, we're doing. Okay. Okay. Take two. Take
Oh my
two.
god.
Take two. Take two. Take two. Okay. Hey, you want to help my incest baby?
No, you nasty. Ah. I'll wear it as a badge of honor, bitch.
Scene.
See. I'm really happy we could do that for you.
I need it. You know what? We went back to the trauma. We went back to the original trauma this week because we went back to the school where we met in theater school. And so I just thought it would be fun for the audience to see what we used to do, you know? Because we were actors.
See, this is a real throwback to theater school because you think that this was for the audience when it wasn't.
It was for me.
It was
for
you.
me. It was always for me. It was always for me. I went up on that stage and did ridiculous things, and I thought surely people are into this. And no, it was for me. It was always for me. Anyways,
Thoughts?
dragons.
No, there aren't dragons yet.
We talk about dragons a little bit in the next chapter.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay. So the term the bone is knitting.
Yeah.
Nasty work, George. Nasty work,
Gross.
George. Ugh. That entire conversation between Pycelle and Ned, I'm just like, that's gross. Like it's by it's medical, but it's just like the way that it's phrased is the bone is knitting.
Anything Pycelle says sounds like it's a vaguely like perverted thing.
Yeah. It's not no. I'm not a fan of it. I also love how Pycelle thinks he's doing Ned a solid. It's like, hey, secret messages. Well, if you recall, I said we shouldn't have done this. I'm a bootlicker and boots taste tasty. You should try it, Ned. Would you like some boots, Ned? Boots down the house? Boots down the house? Num 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 num. And Ned's like, fuck you, you worm of a little fucking man. Gross. Nasty man. Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. I also love how Pycelle's trying to drug him more.
Yeah.
He's like, shh, don't worry about all these problems. Just take more drugs. More drugs, Ned. What if you did more drugs? What if you did the drugs that make you go to sleep for a real long time?
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Also, I need, in addition to our cease and desist to Littlefinger saying, please stop touching the child, I need Littlefinger every time he sees Ned to stop bragging about all the bitches he be fucking. I need you to stop. Your girlfriend that goes to a different school, she's in Canada, that you totally make out with all the time, I need it to stop. It's like literally every time he's like, this bitch is feeding me a fatted calf. Metaphor, baby. Metaphor, baby. Gross.
Yeah.
I know you want to fuck my wife.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this weird mind game of like, I don't need your dumb wife that I was humiliated for trying to fight for her hand. I'll be fucking all these bitches in the cat. Who is this for?
It's for Littlefinger. It's like your performance. It's like your performance. It's not for the audience. It's for you.
But which one am I more like? Am I more like Varys or am I more like Littlefinger then in this case?
That's a conversation I think we want to have off camera.
There are two wolves inside of you, Littlefinger and Varys.
They're both bad.
And they're both bad. And to be clear, these are not wolves that we want to have inside of us. Anyways, but moving along, I never thought I would get a treatise on the virtues of incest and how incest is. Did you know, Rhani, incest is actually good?
Yeah.
Genetically, it's good.
I read all the books, so I know.
Yeah, no,
it's really good.
It's the really best. Good. It's the best, actually.
Yeah.
Because you see those guys that we got rid of because they burned everyone because they were fucking monsters. They fucked their brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And so it's fine. So actually, it's fine. But then, And then the nastiest line, you know the one. You know the
I
one.
don't know the one.
The
Which one?
yes, you do. Where she's describing why they need to have sex together,
Oh yeah.
why
Yeah,
they need to
yeah,
have
yeah.
because when he's inside me, I feel complete.
Yeah.
Nasty work.
Yeah.
Nasty work.
It's less than ideal. Cersei has this very romanticized view of incest that she's, very, very generously explaining to the audience here. In that I think, and this is the fun thing about Cersei. Cersei thinks she's special always.
Yeah.
And so it's not just that like I'm doing Targaryen style incest as a non-Targaryen. It's like, well, it's double okay for us because we're twins. Because twins are special and so twins should be fucking.
Well,
That's her whole argument.
but then the other thing is like the Targaryens at least didn't make this like bullshit up of like we're meant for each other. We're meant for
No.
each other. It was just like we gotta keep the bloodline pure.
Yeah,
Because magic.
this
Because
is just
magic.
like magic eugenics. It's just like I don't.
Not magic eugenics.
I mean,
It's always eugenics.
yeah, it all comes back.
It's
It all comes back.
always fucking eugenics. God fucking damn it.
The
But
worst.
like with her, no, it's this romantic like
Yeah.
we're meant for each other.
Mhm.
When he's with me, like this sounds like the lyrics to like a fucking One Direction song. Like what the fuck is going on?
What One Direction songs are you listening to?
The incest ones. You missed that album?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I think the world did. Christ.
Oh yeah, but the fucking defense of fucking incest was, and also, damn, I forgot this. Was this in the show when she admits she got an abortion because she did conceive a child for Robert,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, I don't want to give him none.
No, that wasn't in the show. In the show, they whether it was that child or not, they basically like invented the idea that she did like have one of his children and didn't survive, and that was kind of like the close of their attempt at a relationship. But in the books, it's very much like, no, I've hated you from literally the first night that you were in me and said Lyanna's name, and from there I have been wanting to murder you. So like, no, and I will say that is one thing in the show that I like a little.
Yeah.
In that, like, I do think it makes their relationship a little more interesting in that, like, it was always doomed, but like the attempt still happened and they're sad because it was always doomed, versus like here where it's like, no, I have wanted to purge everything that like possibly could be our child, which is fine. Like that is her choice. That is her choice. Well,
Yeah.
Hers.
Hers.
But still, it's very much like, there is no nuance with the relationship. It is just pure loathing the entire time.
I think, I will say that I think that's the thing the show does a little bit better adaptation wise, of like it gives more layers to Cersei of like she wanted it to work, whether it's for duty or because she did actually like love Robert. It's sad. It makes it more tragic of like she was like, well, fuck you, like I'm gonna give in to my carnal desires and fuck my twin. But it makes it a little sadder. Whereas this is she's just a stone cold bitch.
Yes.
Right. Like fuck you. I never loved you. I never wanted to love you. This was all political. Fuck you. I literally killed your baby. Like or your fetus, not a baby, because it is a fetus. It is not a baby because we protect women's rights on this channel.
Yeah. Yes. Beyond that, though, I do think that Ned's motivations are so much more clear in the book than they are in the TV show, which I appreciate, because I will not admit, I will admit that I have not always avoided the easy temptation of saying Ned is dumb, because sometimes Ned can be dumb. But a lot of people specifically point to the Cersei meeting as like the dumbest thing ever. And I will say, while it isn't, because I think there is a much dumber decision that comes just
in the next chapter.
But before we get there, like this whole thing is motivated by a good thing. So Ned is literally traumatized. He is traumatized from being a 19-year-old veteran who watched the result of the war that he was a part of result in dead children. So he, in this chapter, in his like interiority, he is haunted by those dead Targaryen children. And his entire thing, his whole reason for talking to Cersei is, I want to avoid this happening again. And I assume, because she is like, a mother who cares about her children, that she is going to like take this as seriously as I am, because it's inevitable that I am about to reveal her secret. So from his perspective, like as soon as Robert's back, the jig is up, you know?
Yeah.
And so he is giving her the one opportunity that like the Targaryen children were not given, which I think ultimately like is a good thing. And really the whole boar thing is just such bad luck. So I will say
Yeah.
in this regard, I think people calling Ned dumb for this particular thing is unfair because I don't think it is.
I literally wrote Ned is dumb in my notes. Well, okay, and here is my argument as to why. Like, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I think this goes into our larger conversation we've had about the theme of this book being that people who lack empathy and intelligence are dumb, right?
Sure.
I think Ned is the counter argument for like the little fingers,
Sure.
the other people who like are just intelligent but have no empathy, right?
Mhm.
Right. Ned does have empathy,
Mhm.
but he's not the brightest.
But here's like this I'm gonna no I'm gonna argue with this one. This is like reader clairvoyance. You know how it turns out.
Sure.
But like in the moment with the information that Ned has, and I have criticized Ned many a time before this,
Sure.
with the information Ned has, he's literally just waiting for Robert to show up again. He now has all the pieces. He can just show it to him, and he knows how Robert's going to react. And it's the fact that he knows how Robert's going to react that he's trying to manage the situation. So, yes, does giving Cersei a heads up cause the potential for her to do some scheming? Sure, but she can't do anything like right now because Robert's not there yet.
Sure. I would argue back. I think what I'm saying in that like Ned is dumb is Ned is and like this is not contradicting what you're saying. Ned is acting emotionally. Like
Yeah.
Like Ned
Well, yeah, but like yeah.
But like Ned is acting emotional, like and like this is I think this is to like the larger point of the book of like Ned isn't necessarily I think thinking like 3 steps ahead, right? Like which we can have an argument of like whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And like I understand the read your clairvoyance of like he doesn't know that Robert's about to die,
Yeah.
right? Like he doesn't know that. But even in this moment, it's like he's not planning for any sort of eventualities or like sort of hiccups, right? Because that is the problem of where he pinned himself in a corner with this moment is like he was like, okay, Robert's gonna come back and then we'll be able to take care of this business. So like, yes, he's being intelligent with sort of assuming that everything's going to go to plan without a hitch and not taking into account that something, whether it's Robert dying or something else happening or some unforeseen thing not happening, right? Like I think the smarter quote unquote thing to do would be like wait for Robert to get, which I understand what you're saying of like he's trying to avoid dead babies, right? But like the smarter thing would have been like wait for Robert to get back, be like, hey Robert, sorry, your wife gave you bastard children that aren't yours, and then try to reason with Robert as he has in the past, which he has been able to reason with him. He has, and say, hey, don't kill your babies, just banish them.
I so so I no.
Okay.
I well has he been able to reason with him sometimes, but on the important things when it's a life or death situation, has he been able to?
Sure.
No.
Sure.
So, and this he knows is going to be bigger. This is going to be bigger than like, ooh, a Targaryen girl on the other side of the world is pregnant. And then the rage he goes into. This is Rhaegar level shit, which he even like Ned references that. He's like,
sure.
There is like, I know my friend, there is not going to be any reasoning with him. This needs to be dealt with beforehand. Now, what I will give you an inch and say, I think the smarter version of what he's trying to do is wait for Robert to come back and then go to Cersei. Go to Cersei.
That's what I was. Yes. That's what I was.
Go to Cersei and say, I am going right now. I'm putting you on a boat. Take his guard, have them put her on the boat, and then go to Robert.
Yeah.
Had he done that, I think it would have been a lot better because it like whatever like you wait for Robert to be there before you say anything. And so had Robert then like got back and was injured, he would then not have revealed the cat out of the bag, etc.
Yeah.
But like waiting for Robert, telling him before she's gone, like that's never gonna not result in dead kids.
Sure. No. Yeah. But I think this also just goes to like I said, the crux of the book, like the whole like empathy versus intelligence.
Sure.
And it's like and I agree, like the dumber things are going to come, like the much dumber things are going to come. I think, to me, the thesis of my argument is like Ned is not planning for eventualities, which we've talked about before.
Mhm.
Of like, because Ned is an honorable man, and because
Mhm.
Ned is like, this is the way things be do.
He's just planning for the wrong eventuality.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
which is unfortunate, but like I guess I don't blame his intelligence on this because there is no reason not to think Robert is about to come back. Robert goes out on hunts all the time. That's literally all he does.
Yeah.
He drinks, he hunts, he sleeps with like prostitutes. That's all he does. So the idea that like, oh well, I need to plan for the one time that he's not gonna is just like it.
But I'm not saying that like that's the eventuality. It's like anything else. It's like if Cersei's like, fuck you, I'm gonna pay off all the guards or something, you know what I mean? Or like, or I'm gonna let all the Lannisters in, or like, you know, like it, and like that's the point. Is like Ned doesn't know. Like, and I agree. Like, read your clairvoyance of like, well, he should have, he should have done this because this. It's like, well, you don't know.
Yes.
But the problem is he doesn't know either.
Yes.
And I think like what the book is trying to say is like it is a tragedy, right?
Yes.
That Ned is in this, and he even says it multiple times of like, I have no desire for these machinations. I have no desire for these intrigues. I'm just trying to do right. But the problem is that the world don't care, right? Like the world does not care about your right and wrong and your morality, unfortunately. And that is the problem, right? It is an indictment of the world rather than an indictment of Ned, right? Of like, the world doesn't care the fact that you are empathetic and unintelligent, which is like the whole point of this book, right? Is that like you do need both because it's very like, and that is why I think it's Machiavellian, because like people like misread the prince and misread Machiavellian like shit all the time, and they think like you got to be a smart boy, you got to be. It's like no, like the point is like how do you? The world is cruel, right? Like the world isn't going to care about your morality. How are you going to then deal with it so that you can be a good and moral prince? But like I take your point. It is writer clairvoyance. Ned is a good egg.
Well, I just think that like I think labeling like an emotional like a reaction done from emotion as dumb, I think it's just like a little reductive because I think like the important thing that we're supposed to take away from this is that this is a man trying to like make up for the sins of his past.
Correct.
This is a man who feels responsibility for the death of children and is now trying to do what is within his power to manage this very complex situation and have it turn out different this time.
Yes.
And I don't like, I just labeling that as just like reducing it to dumb. I just like it, man.
No, I get you. It is a very complex situation, and like that is the point, like of this whole book, right? Is that like it is that fight between like emotion and intelligence, and that like it is an indictment of both the world and then like a tragedy for the characters. It's what makes it's what makes Ned like a Greek hero, tragic figure, right? Of like he is trying to do the right thing, but the world don't give a shit, and then like whoops, an unintended, expected eventuality happens. Oh no, dead king. Also, they said the title of the thing.
They said the name of the thing and the thing. That's my favorite thing. Hey,
that's Ronnie's favorite thing. Every time we watch a movie or something and they say the name of the thing and the thing, Ronnie turns and goes,
"They did it! They did it!" I'm so happy. I love it.
We watched the two because we had a Pope-a-thon last night. We had Pope. We watched two popes, and then like at one point they're like, "Well, there's been two popes before," and Ronnie went, "Oh."
Yeah. That's great. I love that shit. It's so dumb. But yeah, no, they said that they gave us the title of the book. Cersei is the one dropping it, and I will say I love this phrase. And like when you win the Game of Thrones, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
And there is no middle ground.
And there is no middle ground. But like the phrase like the Game of Thrones is so fun, and I love that like we do keep hearing it throughout the series. Like people will keep saying it, and every time they do, I get like a little ooh, that's fun. Yeah, no, it's so good.
Love that bit.
And then one last thing that I wanted to bring up specifically, because I think it makes up for kind of an oversimplification sin of the TV show. So the reveal of how Ned figures out that like Joffrey and the kids are bastards, that's the secret that John Aaron was investigating, etc., etc., is a little different in the book versus the show. Because in the book, I don't remember. Sorry, I mean in the show, I don't remember who says something. Someone says something, and then he goes to that book where it like listing all the lineages, and then he reads like black of hair, black of hair, black of hair. golden haired. I get it. That's not quite what happened. So remember last week, he figures it out in the Sansa chapter when Sansa said he's nothing like that old king, whatever. And then here, he like has it. He isn't like going to the book and doing that. And then when they mention him going to the book, like later after he's already figured it out, it's just to confirm every time a Baratheon and a Lannister have been married.
It's always black of hair.
It's always black of hair. So it's not just like him being like Punnett squares. It's him going like, let me research every time there has been this pairing in history and what does the child look like. And every time, it's not just like, oh, all Baratheons have black hair. It's like, no, every time a Baratheon and a Lannister have a kid, this is what they look like, and those kids don't look like that.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, still kind of an oversimplification of genetics, which is fine, but like, it's not as dumb as the show's kind of like simplistic explanation made it seem like.
Yeah.
There we go.
I also love how we have our love wins moments for Cersei. She's loud and proud, baby.
So happy.
So loud and proud.
Yeah,
I fucked my brother.
Yeah,
whether you're gay, straight, or bi, I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this.
She's none of those. What are you, gay, straight, or bi? None of these. Incest.
She's incest or bi. Like
the problem. This is the problem. If they try to lump that shit in with us, we are not the same. You are the problem right now. You're they're like, oh, they're gonna try to marry snakes.
They're gonna like you marry boys one day, you're gonna be fucking your sister the next. Even though they're the sister fuckers.
We're not see now we're reducing everyone to stereotype. Jesus Christ.
I can do it. I'm from the South.
Okay, fine. You're allowed, I guess, but go after him, not me.
Sound off in the comments.
Drive
that engagement.
Has Spicer offended every possible group in the last 2 minutes?
Who have I not offended? Yeah. That's the real question. Who have I not offended in this moment? Who did I not put my foot in my mouth talking about? Let me know.
Oh, well, that's all I have.
That's all I have.
Great. So let's take a break and we will be right back. And we're back. Hey. We're moving on to Daenerys V. So, Daenerys V, what the fuck happens? Well, lots happens. Daenerys is in Vaes Dothrak, and they are doing the funnest ceremony ever, where she has to eat the fresh raw heart of a horse, a stallion, forgive me, and that's cool. That's supposed to make it so that her son will be strong and not weak and bad, and which that's what it's going to mean if she throws up. So she has to eat it. So she does the thing. It's really difficult because it's a giant whole horse heart. I don't know why that turned into a thing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, but then afterwards they're like, okay, cool, I did the thing. Let's have a feast. Oh, actually, no, there's a horrible sex scene in the middle of it. Which, yep, we'll
unpack that later.
Yeah, we'll unpack that in a bit. Anyway, terrible sex scene, and then we have the feast. Yay, everything is great. Everyone's having a good time. They're happy with Daenerys. Daenerys' baby is going to be the strongest, bestest boy that ever damn was. She's going to name him Rhaego. How cute. She's doing a Renesmee. She's literally doing a Renesmee. She's like, what if I take my brother's name and take my husband's name and I mash them together? Rhaegar and Drogo. Rhaego. Yay. Yeah, but it's still better than, like, if she did a true Renesmee, it would be like Rhaegar Drogo. Rhaegar Rogo. That's what it would be if it was Renesmee. But it's not. It's better. She's does better than Bella Swan. I give her flowers. But then, oh no, Viserys is back and he's drunk and he's carrying a sword, which is bad because you're not supposed to have a sword in Vaes Dothrak because there's not supposed to be bloodshed in Vaes Dothrak. But he's saying, I don't care, I'm the dragon. And the dragon comes over and is like, I'm gonna kill some people. And then he goes over to Daenerys and is like, okay, I haven't got my army. I'm real sad. I'm taking you back. You could tell your husband I'm gonna cut out his baby. I'm gonna leave it and I'm gonna take you away. Boo. And then she tells Drogo that. Drogo's like, cool, we will give him crown. And then they break his hands. They hold him down. Drogo
defies the laws of
physics. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. He melts some gold in a pot. And then he pours it over Viserys' head, and Viserys goes bye-bye. Goodbye, Viserys the Third. that was sad. I don't know. Anyway, what did you think, Spice?
It's a cautionary tale for going a little too into the fantasy of the fursona.
Mm.
You know, the fursona, it's great. We love that. We love that that's your truth, but don't bring it into work.
Nah.
Don't bring it into work. Don't bring it into work. No one needs to know that.
Nope.
Because Drogo was like, I don't fucking care if you identify as a dragon, but we're in the middle of something here. We have a business dinner going on.
Yeah.
Why are you in your fursuit?
Yeah.
Like I love that for you,
Yeah.
but you're fired. And by fired, I mean I'm gonna break the laws of physics.
You're so worried about that. There's dragons. There's dragons. There's dragons. You know what gold does in this universe? This is a universe where there are people who are the subject of like 20 generations of incest and they still look like Swedish supermodels. They're like what
So Swedish supermodels.
yeah. Nothing is working correctly is my goddamn point. So chill out. It's a fun image, and by fun I mean terrifying.
Terrifying image. To be clear, I do think it's fun, and I think Lindsay Ellis talks about this in her Jurassic Park video of where like she talks about like she discusses and dissects the like how the science doesn't science all the time in Jurassic Park, and her point is like, so what? Like eventually at a certain point as a writer and as a filmmaker or a storyteller, you do have to kind of be like, whatever. This is the fun thing that I want to do. Who gives a shit? Neil deGrasse Tyson at me on Twitter and tell me that it's all wrong. It's a fun image. Storytelling.
Please, your comments make me stronger. Please comment all you want.
Drive that engagement up.
Yeah, baby.
But yeah, no, this chapter so much. I forgot about everything.
Yeah.
About everything that happens in this chapter. And I said, oh, that's right. She does eat an entire heart of a stallion. And I love how we get a training montage sequence.
Yeah.
Right? Like we got like she's like running up those steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum, eating like raw meat and like drinking blood.
Because they say in the thing that like for like a few days or a week or whatever, she's like eating like clotted blood to like get used to it. And then all she's doing is chewing jerky. She's chewing horse jerky to like strengthen her jaw so that she can do this when it gets there. And then fun fact I will give you about the TV show. When they did this in the TV show, it was like a giant gummy bear. And so she spent like hours just like sticky because she's just eating this giant gummy bear heart thing. And then when she went to the bathroom, she got stuck because her hand, she got stuck to the toilet.
No,
she did. Poor Emilia Clarke. And
this woman went through so much for this fucking TV show. So much.
Emilia Clarke, we love you.
We love you.
You are a trooper. You dealt with everything. Aneurysms. Two. She got 2 aneurysms during the shoot, like filming the show. Like, I don't know how you did anything.
And yet people still wanted to give her shit.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourselves. Like, I can't. Stuck to the toilet. Nasty work. Anyways, but yes, forgot about this scene. I did want to say one thing that was interesting to me is I think there's an interesting thing going on here that George is using. Of where the whole point of this ceremony is we are a male-centric society. We are the patriarchy. We can only have male rulers. And we go on and on about how like ladies, once their husbands die because they are property, they must go and become part of the Dothraki parliament, I guess. But they can't leave the city, and this is where you live, and this is your life now. Sorry, bitch. And we need to make sure that you eat the literal heart of a stallion, of the male horse, and you got to eat it so that your baby will be strong.
Yes,
because we don't got what do they call the doctors that are for the baby doctors? The
OBGYN.
We don't got an OBGYN here. There's no OBGYN. We don't have, there's no gyno. We got none of that shit here.
This is the only prenatal vitamin you're gonna get: a horse heart.
A horse heart. Swallow it whole. Like, sorry. It's for the baby. But anyways, I think it's so fascinating that we're doing all this because like we want to produce a strong male leader, right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing this, but it's the woman who does the work, right? It is the woman who is required here to do the gross, ugly, nasty thing, right? And it is also interesting that like Dany, who is this character who has been constantly put down by her brother, right? Through this entire book, being like, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're just a pawn in my larger scheme because I need this, and so you're just gonna be traded away and blah 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 blah. And I'm the dragon. Here's my persona. I commissioned art on it. Here's my persona. And then and you're trash. But then she's the one doing the hard work, right? She's the one who's been married off into sex slavery willingly, by the way. Even though like consent is still a problem here, but she's the one who's like, I will do the sex slavery so we get our home back because I want home. She is the one who's had to learn everything about this culture, right? She has learned the language, she has learned the customs, she has sat down, she has done the hard work. She got her butt stuck to a goddamn toilet seat because she had to eat the heart out. Right, eat your heart out, bitch. Right, like that. She is doing the work. And what the fuck has Viserys been doing? Nothing. Getting drunk. Getting drunk with the eunuchs at the fucking marketplace. The fuck? And so then he has the gall and audacity to come in here and be like, bitch, this is mine. I'm coming for what's mine. It's like, what is yours? What is yours, bitch?
I love one of the things, like the lead up to that, which I will say I think was very smart of the TV show to actually like dramatize and like show the scene versus in the book it's a retelling. So when she's sitting at the feast, Dany with Jorah tells her that like,
oh yes,
that like, oh yeah, he'd gone down to the market. He's gonna go. He wants wine. Blah blah blah. And he's like, also he tried to steal your dragon eggs, and I told him I'd cut his hands off if he did. And I think that's just like another like good planting of all these like little injustices that Viserys feels like he's suffering. Like he can't even steal shit from his sister anymore. Like he thinks he's a king, but he's not allowed to steal shit because his subject, his sworn knight, is just threatened to kill him. It's yeah, like you really see like just how like down low he feels like he has fallen before he pulls the stunt of all stunts.
And then literally like Drogo insulting him in front of his entire Khalisar and being like, no, you need to be back there with the kids and the old people and the baddies.
Yeah.
Cause you're bad. And he calls him the cart king. The cart king. Cart king. Woo 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 woo. Dumbass bitch. Anyway, but no, it is just interesting to me that like this male-centric society that values the patriarchy so much is still requiring a woman to do all of this work, right? Like that is what is fascinating to me. And it's like she is the one still doing everything. And then also like we get the other detail of like they're like called like the crones or whatever.
The Dosh Khaleen,
The Dosh Khaleen, the Dothraki parliament, as I'm calling them now. Like it's interesting that like they are also the backbone of this society. They are considered property and they don't really get to have any of the glory or but like they are the ones who are like also calling the shots. So it's just fascinating to me that even in this like hyper masculine, hyper patriarchal society, you can't actually shut out the other gender. Because it's almost as if it takes two, you're daring, we're traveling through the woods. I forgot the lyrics. I'm sorry. Sondheim. There's your Sondheim reference for the episode. Yay. But no, I just think that's such an interesting like commentary that George is making and like using this symbolism of like she has to do the most disgusting thing you can think of, eating a raw heart.
While her husband just stands there and watches
motionless, because I guess emotions are for the weaklings. I don't fucking know.
That's why we're weak.
That's why we're weak. We love it. But also moving along after that, because we gotta talk about it, baby.
Whoa.
The nastiest scene.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, okay. Here's I don't think we need to dive in as much as we have with the other ones, but here's what I will say. We have argued that there has been like always an issue with George writing specifically the Daenerys like sex scenes in like intent versus execution. So we think the intention, and I would argue the intention, is that this is supposed to be bad, illustrate, child sexual abuse, like the way the society is treating these children, blah blah blah. And it's just the issue of his voyeurism in how he writes that makes it feel icky, and just like not as successful because you are focusing on the gross thing and whatever. There's a line. There is a line that I wrote down that I think illustrates my point while also showing us like this is so gross. So basically, after she finishes the heart, Khal Drogo is so proud of her that he decides he wants to have her right there on the lake where everyone is watching, and he basically picks her up to do it standing up, and it is then that, remember, this is from Daenerys's point of view, where she says, he lifted me as he might lift a child, because she is. And then we proceed to like describe the sex for like a paragraph too long. It's unnecessary. We got what was happening, we get the horror of the situation from a line like that, but then he kind of ruins it by being like, okay, and let me graphically talk about the sex, blah blah blah, which again, I I'm not saying that you cannot write about sex, but I think if your point is to show the horror of the situation, you don't need to write it in a way where people can perceive it as like as it being like at all hot, getting your jollies, whatever you want to call it.
I think the other thing that's going on here is like George is trying to do two things, I think, here, which is also what complicates it. Of like, he's trying to do a lot of different things, and I just don't think he's successful.
Yeah.
Of like, he's trying to show the horror, but he's also trying to show that like Khal Drogo does love her now.
Yes.
Like he has fully fallen in love for this child bride, and is like fully fallen for her, and this is his way of expressing it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's still icky. Like
no, like if Khal Drogo is like really happy with her now, and Daenerys is also very happy with him, it still doesn't matter. And trying to like show the positive side of that, like along with the horror, I think just like undermines, it muddies it. So it's basically, just wanted to touch on that. I don't want to linger on it because like we've had this conversation before. It's still an issue, hopefully for not much longer though. But moving on to one thing that I do want to talk about is Viserys' death, and specifically like Dany's reaction to it, because this is, in the TV show, we know how the TV show ends. One of the big justifications that those chucklefucks who wrote it give for it being okay and like it making sense is that you could always see that she was a little crazy. You could always see that she was too comfortable watching how Viserys died. And I would argue, if you read this text, there is lots of stuff going on here, and it is not that. She is basically wrestling with the fact that like he has now fully threatened her. He's disrespected everything she has grown to love in this culture, and he's about to die. And so she, and remember, she is 14, basically starts thinking of him as not my brother. She starts referring to him as the man who was my brother because she knows he's about to die. And then while she is like struggling with that, and that is like a distancing technique, there is also a line which I found just as heartbreaking, because when she realizes that Khal Drogo is about to kill him, but Viserys doesn't realize it yet, and she like tells him like, Khal Drogo said he's going to give you your crown. And then it says Viserys smiled when he told he'd get Viserys smiles when he was told he's going to get a golden crown. And then the line says, that was the saddest thing, the thing that tore at her afterwards, the way he smiled. Right there, we see that afterwards, she is going to think about this. It tore at her afterwards. She remembers how he looked. So even if you want to argue that like the language she's using is to like distance herself from him, the man who was my brother, this is still something that is going to haunt her and is still going to like torment her a bit in her mind, because at the end of the day, that is still her brother. That's why she has put up with all of this till now. It's what she says in the moments before he shows up to Jorah, where Jorah is like, no, like ditch him. He's a piece of shit. She's like, no, he's still my brother. When I had nothing, I know everything I know about home from him. He is my connection to that. Like, I still care about him. And it isn't until like there's literally no way out, there's no other option, that she starts to like, okay, he was my brother. He's not my brother anymore. Like, he tried to kill me and he's about to die.
Yeah, I think it's also like another thing that's going on is like the way that the Chuckle Fox tried to justify all of this is just like she's a stone cold bitch in the inside. Which, like, no. Even if you take the idea, if you try to take the lens of like she is doing like coping mechanisms, she is trying to distance herself. It's more like the last line I think is so poignant of like, he was not the dragon, a dragon wouldn't die from fire. She is sort of stripping away the veneer of who he was. She is finally seeing him for who he is.
Yeah.
The persona has been completely ripped off. He is just a sad little man who is so and like also her abuser. And like she's realizing that in this moment of like, he is not the dragon.
Which has been her journey this entire time.
Yeah.
This entire time since she's joined the Dothraki has been like unpacking her relationship with her brother, realizing like what parts of what he was saying were like clearly not true, which parts still have value, and like what their relationship actually was. And it's like in that moment that like she, like you're saying, like she realized like, oh, everything he built, the dragon, the persona, isn't real. It was a thing he put on, and it's gone. And also just the irony, because people, and again, I hate always having to like argue these same few points. People love to take that as the whole like, she's fireproof because real target. No, we watched her get burned in these books. Okay, the TV show did a dumb thing. Please, but like what? Sorry, just to finish, like the purpose of this line is to like she's stripping the veneer of what he was. She's seeing him for what he was, but also in a very fucked up way, it's kind of like a pun almost.
Yeah, no.
She's like saying like, oh, he's called himself the dragon. Like, obviously not. A real dragon would not get burned like this.
Yeah.
Not that that that's a Targaryen trait.
Yeah. No, it's her sort of stripping the veneer away, and it's like symbolic.
Yes.
Of like if he was the dragon, if he was this smart person, he was this strong person, he wouldn't have put himself in this situation.
Yes.
He wouldn't have gotten burned. Yes. Right? He wouldn't literally have gotten himself in a situation where he would have melted gold poured over his head. One other thing I did kind of want to talk about that's related to all this is the symbolism of him trying to steal her eggs.
Yeah.
The symbol, and then when he tries to cut out the baby, he is trying to take her fertility away. Yeah. Right? Like this is I think these chapters have been our pro-choice chapters.
Yes.
Right? Like I think this is George giving us a pro-choice lens here. This is a feminist lens. Yes. Because you got Cersei being like, it's my body, my choice. Yes. I don't want to have his babies. And then you have like you have a literal man trying to take away the symbol of her fertility, the eggs, be like, these are mine now, bitch. I'm going to use them for my own personal benefit because they're mine. And then being like, I'm going to cut out this baby. You don't get a choice in this matter. I'm going to cut the baby out. Right? Like, this is such... I don't know. I don't think George could be any clearer.
Really don't.
Because like also the body horror that also happens in this chapter too, of the scene that we just discussed. Like it's like, once again, it is this woman who is constantly having her autonomy taken away from her, right? And that was a line, and I think that is where like the line started, where she like Viserys fully went over the line, because like you have all these like ellipses in the text of her being like, but my eggs, he tried to take my eggs, fuck that bitch, right? And then she like tries to like justify it. He's like, well, if he had asked for it, I would have given it. I would have given it to him if he asked it. Like, and then she's like, oh, do you want my eggs? I'll give you my eggs. But like, you can see that is such a line for her of like, this is the one thing I have. My fertility is the one thing that I have in this world, in this society, and you are trying to take that away from me. Fuck you. Which is why I think she has crossed that line. And even though she does kind of try to like save him a little bit at the end, and she like, that is where he died for her.
Well, it's like, what that was like in this chapter, at least that was like the start of it. Her finding out that he tried to steal the eggs, and then like where we really cross the line, it's when he like pricks her. He
Yeah.
pricks her with the sword. He pricks her like pregnant belly with it. That's the reinforcing of the like, I'm going to take this away from you.
Mhm.
And then from that point on, it's okay, he shed blood, he used the sword, and he's doing it to this part of me in a play, and like I know what my husband's about to do. This is the end. And
Yeah.
that's where like she starts like really separating him.
Yeah, you're gonna get your crown.
Yeah.
Like, ew, nasty. Damn, this scene. It's like this is where George. I feel like we get like the best of George and the worst of George in this chapter.
Mhm.
We get the worst of George with the voyeuristic shit, but then we get the best of George because it's like Shakespearean.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's Shakespearean.
No, it's so intense. It's so intense, and it feels larger than life. You feel like the weight of what this is. It's like it's like it's the end of this relationship. It's the snuffing out of another member of this like dying dynasty. There's so much weight in all of it, and it's like, and it's all, and then the tragedy, like the tragedy of like him bringing it on himself, his own hubris, his own inability to see how he continues to cause his own problems right until the end.
Well, and it's also like it's so fascinating that we're also seeing Dany really come into her own in this chapter, and like also everyone recognizing that.
Yeah.
Right. Because like Ser Jorah is like, fuck you, bitch. I don't serve you.
Yeah.
Where's your call? Where's your Khalasar? I don't see your fucking army. I don't serve you, bitch. Don't touch those eggs. Like I'll cut you up. Like, yeah. Anyways, those were my thoughts on this.
Me too.
Roller coaster of a chapter.
It's really yeah, no. I will say like some of, again, the reason I always get like frustrated with some of the Dany sex stuff is because like the rest of the chapter is like
So
is like one of my favorites in the entire series. Like not even just this book, just the whole, it's so good, and like for all the reasons that we just talked about. But it's great. It's cool. Whatever. We reconcile the various things in our heads. We contain multitudes. It's fine. But yeah, that's all I got. So one more break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, moving right along to Eddard XIII. Well, Ned wakes up because Robert's back. Yay, everything's gonna be fine. Except no, it's not, because he goes to Robert's room and Robert smells of death. Why? Because he's dying. Because the big boar, the boar worm, not the boar worms. They got him, gal. Robert got gorged really bad because he was dumb. He got really drunk, and then he wanted to take on the boar alone. It was a whole thing. But it's fine because Robert's gonna like be kind of apologetic, and he's gonna tell Ned like, "Hey, you're gonna be the protector of the realm. Please take care of my son. Please fix all this shit. I was a terrible king." And Ned's like, "I can't tell you the truth now because you're dying." And he's like, "Okay, fine. I'll take your statement." They take the statement. Robert signs it, and then Robert's like, "Okay, drug me up. I'm good to go. Beam me up, Scotty." And so Ned,
he was Francis. He saw JD Vance and he's like, "I'm out."
Yes, yeah, literally, quite literally. And then Ned leaves the room and he's like, "God damn it. Okay, we got to figure this shit out." And then he runs into Renly, and Renly's like, "Hey, we gotta act. We gotta act now. I got my household guard. You got your household guard. Let's get the kids into custody, so that we separate them from Cersei. That way, Cersei will now like listen and not try to pull any shit. You will be in charge. We'll get the council on your side, and then we will move forward from there." And motherfucking Ned goes, "No, that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Robert is still alive. Let's wait till he's gone." And Renly's like, "Hey, if we wait till then, it might be too late." And Ned's like, "Well, you win some, you lose some. We'll see." Well, we will see. After that, he leaves Renly. He goes and he's like, "Wait, Renly might have had a point. Renly might have had a point. I'm not going to do what he said because that would have been smart. I'm going to go to Littlefinger.
My trusted advisor
Littlefinger." And it's like, "Hey, so I don't want to do anything till Robert's dead. Can you make sure the city guard is on my side when he's dead? And then we'll be able to do things." And Littlefinger's like, "Sure. Yeah, definitely. Let's do that." And yeah,
we forgot. We also forgot Varys coming in.
Varys,
Varys comes in and is like, because Varys, our secret sleuth, our,
Yes.
our private eye,
Yes.
taking
yes,
over for the cop case, and is like, so he was drunk, huh? Who was giving him wine? And then he's like, oh, his squires. Like, you mean the Lannister squires?
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope that they don't bear guilt because, it's so, the children, they
Mhm.
bear guilt so much. The way that Varys plays five-dimensional chess at all times, he is wearing a mask on a mask on a mask.
While also being not subtle. That whole
Not
thing was like,
subtle.
how did this happen? Weird. Yeah. But no, anyway, so yeah, he sees Varys, then he sees Renly, then he sees Littlefinger, and then we go kaput. That's the end. Hope it all turns out well. It doesn't.
Yeah, we had a very nuanced conversation
Yeah.
in the last Ned chapter,
Yeah.
and we were like, it's intelligence manifests in different ways, and he was trying to do it with and then now it's like we dumb
Yeah.
dumb 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 dumb. We
Mm.
we took a bunch of stupid pills because we because I that is what is crazy to me. It's like you have all the cards, Ned. You have all the cards are in. You have just been made protector of the realm. Like you have been made Lord Protector. The king's brother is like, let's get all the guards. We can take care of this now. Nobody has to die, but we'll just take them into custody.
Yeah.
And then we'll take care of business.
Also, taking them into custody in this reality when it's rich people means putting them in a different room of their plush castle. Like, oh, sorry, you're gonna be in this room actually for a little bit. Have fun in there, which is what they would be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, it's fucking crazy. And then like what's also crazy about this is like one, I love how like Renly is like the voice of reason.
Weirdly.
Renly, who doesn't give a shit about nothing, is like, hey, what if we did this? And then what's also crazy to me is like Ned holds all the cards, but has also been given like 5 different options that he can choose.
Yeah.
Literally everyone, Cersei even was like, hey, how y'all doing? You want to be friends? My brother's been let go. We could be friends now. And he's like, no, honor. And then like Varys is like, hey. He's like, no. And then Renly's like, hey. He's like, no. And Littlefinger's like, hey. He's like, no.
That's the other thing that I forgot to mention. So Littlefinger presents his own plan, which is instead of like Renly's being like, oh, let's secure the kids and blah, blah, blah. Littlefinger, who Ned has now told about Joffrey being, the bastard, is like, okay, well, you should still support Joffrey because you can control him for now. Stannis is going to be a problem. So just like control Joffrey until he's of age. And then by then he should like love you and be willing to listen to you. And if not, we can off him.
We can yeet the child.
Yeah. And Stannis will probably be gone by then, and we can just put Renly in, and that'll be lovely for all of us. And Ned, of course, goes like, that's treason. And Littlefinger's like, I mean, like, if
what
you
we're
can
doing,
prove it.
what we're doing right now is treason.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. It's like, girl, any option is treason right now.
Yeah.
Any option is treason, and you hold all the cards. And like this is like Ned's tragic flaw, right? And like Cersei even points it out of like, you could have taken the throne. You could have, and you could have been a much better king, right? Like, can you imagine the timeline if Ned had been fucking king?
Yeah.
If Ned had been fucking king.
Yeah. If it was him and Jon Arryn like calling all the shots, that would have been real easy.
They'd be in the year 3000. Like they would have flying fucking cars. They would have skipped the Renaissance. They would have skipped the Age of Enlightenment, gone straight to the fucking flying cars. It would have been great. Green energy. There'd be no poverty. It'd be great. It'd be fucking great. Like, God fucking damn it. And it's like, but that is Ned's tragic flaw.
Yeah.
Right? Is he's like, it's not me. I'm just here. It's like Conclave. Hey, it's like Conclave. We watched Conclave. And it's like Conclave. He's like, I can't do it. It can't be me.
Yeah.
It can't be me. It's like, but what if it was you, bitch? Like, but you're actually kind of well suited for this. And actually, you kind of could be the person that we're looking for in this instance.
Well, he would be. I just want to clarify because I know someone will be like, he wouldn't be well suited for it because he couldn't handle any of this. If he was the person in charge and picking everyone that was around him, like he would have a much easier time because Ned is only picking like the people he would trust. The issue with his situation right now is he has been plopped in Robert's court.
Yes.
Robert's court, where corruption and like various agendas are all clashing all the time, and he can't just remove a council member. Like he needs yeah. So it's
And well, this is also another sort of like thing we've been talking about of like indecisive rulers and shitty rulers leads to factionalism.
Yeah.
Right? Like Robert wasn't able to be like, this is what we're gonna do. He was like, fuck it, you guys take care of it. And the problem is like when you do that, factionalism arises.
Yeah.
And then people with their own self-interest are like, hey, you go haunt that boar. You have that extra glass of wine. It'll be fine.
I will say, just backing up just a little bit, that whole last scene with Robert is so like funny and sad and like just like this man who just like at the end of Robert, who just at the end of the life realizes like I am such a fuck up. I am the world's biggest fuck up. And where he's like suddenly going like, I am just as bad as Aerys.
Especially
I am such a bad king.
He's like, I'm the worst. Because remember, we had that conversation with Ned earlier at the tourney, and he's like, but at least I'm better than Aerys.
Yeah. And I was like, nope.
I'm just as bad. I'm just a different flavor of bad. I am a bad king. So sorry.
Yeah.
And now can you and in true Robert fashion, in true Bobby B fashion, he's like, I made a mess of things. Whoopsies. Poopy in my pants. Can you queen it? Can you queen it up, Ned? I made a big stinky. Can you queen it?
Okay.
He's a man because he's a man child.
Yeah. No, I got that. I got it. The voice was just starting to make me uncomfortable.
I commit.
You commit to the bit. No, it like agreed. It's just at the end of his life, after all of this being like, I need you to fix it one more time. That is insanity. That is insanity, and it's so hard because like I do feel bad for Ned. I feel bad for Ned throughout that whole meeting where he's like, I don't want to ruin this man's last moments by telling him this shit. But once again, like that would have fixed everything. If he told Robert with everyone in the room, that's like the ball game.
Robert would have been like, fuck that bitch.
Yep.
Off with their heads. Goodbye. Yeet those kids out of the fucking castle.
Yep. But like again, it's like this is the tragedy. Like Ned is trying to manage this complicated situation where he wants specifically children to live, and so he's not going to do any of the options that would actually stop this because it's going to end in dead children. And
it's bad. It's also, I do love the bit where like, once again, classic Bobby B of Bobby B being like, you're the Lord Protector now. And Ned's like, anything else? You want to clarify anything? You want to, any last wishes? Any decrees? Anything to, I don't know, potentially stop this civil war that's about to break out in the middle of the kingdom? You want to do any of that? And Robert's like, nah, you take care of that. Okay. Now give me something for the pain and let me die.
Bobby, what'd you do? Why'd you fuck it all up so bad?
Bobby, booby, Robbie, darling.
No, this whole chapter is just another like car accident in slow motion. You're just like watching like every poor decision be made in a row, and like we understand the reasons behind them, but they're still so bad. And I just to like reiterate, like people want to like pontificate on like what gets Ned killed when and where, blah blah blah, who's to blame, which decision leads to what. I do like continue to stand my ground that like, hey, there's many a domino, there's a big like collection. The moment where he just straight up tells Renly like, no, we're not taking the kids. If they had just done that, if they had just like in that moment gotten them out, like set them aside, Cersei wouldn't have done shit. And God, crazy.
He was offered 4 different solutions.
Yeah.
He was offered 4 different solutions.
And he said, what if no, though? All of them?
What if no to all of them? What if no to all of them? And it's just like, and what's also so crazy is like, This is all in service of not killing kids. It's like you're putting your own kids in danger.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen? What do you think when the Lannisters show up? You think they're gonna be like, we're not gonna kill these kids. These kids we're not gonna kill.
No, we would never.
We kill
never.
We make killing kids is the national pastime of the Lannisters. Like
Yeah.
they love killing a kid. They love yeeting a kid off a fucking tower. They love sending assassins after a 14-year-old girl who has been sold into slavery. They love it. It's their pastime. Do you think they're gonna be like, but Ned was a good egg.
Ned was a good egg.
Ned was a good egg. We're not gonna yeet his kids. Why would we yeet his kids? They're nice kids. He's been betrothed.
Betrothed.
What? And we're honorable people who value vows, even though literally one of the leading members of our household is known throughout the realm for betraying his vows, before the gods.
Yeah, Ned, love you, but this wasn't it.
Sorry, it's a no for me, dog. That's all I have.
That's all I have. So let's move on to our last couple segments. We have first, let's see here. Okay, our question. Ooh, you'll like this. Our question comes from Raw.tastic. That's I think. Okay, I need you to take advantage of the musical theater knowledge you guys got. Cast a show, any show you want with these characters. For example, Into the Woods, Ned is the baker, Cat is his wife, etc. So let's not do Into the Woods.
Let's not do Into the Woods.
But I have an idea.
Okay.
I want to do fucking Gypsy.
Yes.
Tyrion is Mama Rose. And then we have Jon Snow as Gypsy. And because Tyrion was mentoring him, remember?
Yeah.
And then that's it. I think that's the only two you need. I think you need I just want to see Tyrion doing Everything's Coming Up Roses.
Oh, no. But then Bobby B is what's his face?
Herbie?
Yeah, Herbie.
Herbie, yeah.
Bobby B is Herbie.
That's fine. We love that. Arya can be the other one. Whatever. The other sister.
Counter argument.
Okay.
So Jon is oh gosh, what's the one that we like at the beginning? Because there's the two sisters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, but Jon isn't Gypsy Rose Lee. Arya is Gypsy Rose Lee.
Okay.
Because Arya is the one like, we don't care about her.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't care about her. She's whatever.
Sure.
But then she proves herself.
I mean, I think that's also Jon, but
I think it's funnier.
Okay, you do you. But this is my show. You cast your show how you want.
We got dueling gypsies.
Yeah, we got dueling gypsies. Okay. Yeah. I just want to see Tyrion sing all those songs. And, yeah. It would be so good.
Specifically Peter Dinklage.
Yes.
Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister playing Mama Rose in Gypsy.
Yes. Correct. That is it.
This is the way.
Yes, this is the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then Spicer.
Uh-huh.
What was your favorite death this week?
We got options. Well, not quite options yet.
Yeah. There's the boar.
There's the
besides Viserys, there's the boar.
Well, because Robert's he's almost there.
He's almost there. He's close.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say Viserys.
Yeah.
It's such an iconic death.
Yeah.
We defy the laws of physics. I mean, anytime we defy the laws of physics in this
just the Swedish supermodels. Sweet. They should look like Habsburg's ugly cousins, but they look like Swedish supermodels. Nothing works correctly. Nothing.
Anyways, my point being, it's an iconic death.
Yes.
She. What a way to go.
What a way to go. Literally.
She died doing what she loved, like getting crowned. Oh my god.
Oh yes, but that I concur fully. That was the moment. So for next week, housekeeping. Remember, if you are reading along, the chapters are Jon VI, Eddard XIV, and Arya IV. You can read along. You just listen to us yap. Please leave comments in the thing if you have questions for us. Please like the video. Liking also helps with algorithm stuff. Share it. Do leave a review if you're on one of the Spotify's or whatever. Just do a thing. If you want us to keep doing this for a while, do all the books and stuff. It helps if they do well. So
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, y'all have a great week and say goodbye, Spicer.
Goodbye, Spicer.